Good evening and welcome to C.A.N. Tonight, openly gay U.S. Congressman Barney Frank will give us his views on coming out, politics in Washington, and the Republican Party. But first, C.A.N.'s Patrick Henry went to the University of California in Berkeley to talk with Bess Dolmo, a lesbian activist who was recently elected to the UC Student Senate.
Bess Dolmo became the first openly lesbian woman of color to win a seat on the 30-member Berkeley Student Senate. She took second place out of 15 contested seats with a campaign stand, "Not afraid to be liberal, not afraid to be lesbian, and definitely not afraid to confront this conservative university." The Senate oversees an annual budget of $17 million, including the allocation of money to student groups and ownership of the university's bookstore.
What was it about your campaign that you feel attracted the voters to you?
Those issues were primarily the unity of the women's struggle, the gay-lesbian struggle, the foreign struggle, I'm from a Latin country, and also the African struggle. If you embody all of those, we have a united struggle. And I think people sort of respected the fact that I came out as a lesbian, and it really showed a lot of respect from other people. I didn't think I'd get as much support as I did, but I'm happy I did.
You're bringing up issues that you say that sometimes they don't even want to hear about, they don't want to talk about. But what are they talking about? What is it sports? Is it classes? Is it still the me generation? Are they working hard to get that degree? I mean, what's compelling these students to be here? What's concerning them?
I see it split. There's a generation of students who are still in that me mode of mentality. They want to get the job after graduation. They want the sports cars, the houses, and everything else. And then there's another group of students who feel, wait a minute, why is that so important? Why is it important for me to have all these material possessions but not be at ease with myself and the people who are around me? Those are the people who are moving to make changes, and we're trying to sort of open the eyes to the students who want to get ahead by sort of giving them information. That's fine if you want to get ahead. But if you're coming from a Latino community and you become a success story, don't forget where you came from. Go back, teach, or just sort of bring some more people with you. Sort of like a seed. I always like to sort of like the feminist point of view. Life is cyclical. You get in, you take out for what you give in. If we become educated and we go back within our community to educate again, or if we have our own businesses for our own, I think that's great, but we can't just think of ourselves and try. I don't know, there's a lot of business administration degree majors here, a lot of econ majors here, and I'm not saying that that's bad, that's fine, but there's also a humanitarian concept that must be incorporated into any degree that leads to a professional life hereafter.
From the past, people think of Berkeley as a liberal institution with a liberal student body, perhaps from the 60s and 70s, and yet you talk about it being conservative and having problems on the campus. How do you see that comparison?
If you look at the educators, the people in power, if they hold conservative values, most likely the people surrounding them are going to reflect those conservative values. And that's what's happening today. I think there needs to be a change in leadership. There needs to be pressure from the bottom. There needs to be pressure from the top. And that way people start evaluating their own values. Why are they being racist? Why are they being sexist? And why are they being homophobic? When I look at the student population, and over 52% of it on this campus are students of color, and most importantly, over 53% of this campus is women, and you look at the faculty, and it does not reflect that, I consider that a conservative administration, because things must change, and the time is now. We can't wait into the future and say, well, there are not enough qualified people in the pool. I don't believe in that. There are qualified people in the pool. It's a matter of having the incentive to get those people, advertising the right way, actually hiring these people and tenuring them. The university is not doing that. They have clearly shown us that they want to keep this university a white male institution, and we won't stand for that. And I definitely won't stand for that.
You're a woman of color. you're a feminist, you're lesbian, you even were born in another country and moved here. Do you feel that oppression strongest because of one of those things, or is it a general kind of thing?
It's a general thing, and I experience oppression within the groups, within the feminist community who don't want to acknowledge lesbians, within the third world community who don't want to acknowledge women and don't want to acknowledge lesbians, and within the gay and lesbian community who don't want to acknowledge third world. Like I said, a lot of education needs to take place. Oppression is everywhere, but we have a common foe out there, and we can't forget that. We have to build alliances, build forces, and that's the most frustrating thing I can think of right now, because I embody all of it, except for, the Asian population. But it's really a harebrained. It really is. It's tough. And I've gotten to the point where I'm not going to let it get me down and get frustrated and give up, because right now we could go either two ways. I can forget about striving for all these issues and fighting every type of oppression there is, or I can be one of the people at the forefront and make changes, making impressions on people's mind. And at least if they don't change their mind about a certain issue, they heard me and they remember me, and that's going to live with them for a while. And I think that's a hell of a lot than anything else I can do.
Where do you think gays are kind of left behind in the struggle a little bit, or do you feel that that's not true?
Oh, definitely we are left behind the struggle. People don't want to confront their own homophobia. People don't want to admit that they have some reservations about gays, lesbians, and bisexuals. And that's unfortunate. And it's even more unfortunate within your own group. Right now we're facing a controversy on this campus that the third world student groups want to shy away from the Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual Alliance and Blood, which is the third world group behind that. And I think that's unfortunate. We cannot divide ourselves. That's what happened in the 60s. That's why that movement was divided, was because they ignored women's issues. They ignored gay and lesbian issues. And look what happened, fragmentation. And it took a couple of decades for us to build this power again. Now that we're generating a lot of power, we can't take two steps back by dividing ourselves. And that's what's happening on this campus right now. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. But to answer your question even more clearly, a lot more needs to be done with confronting the issues by attaining positions of power. Once I became an ASUC senator, people started acknowledging gays and lesbians exist. Gays and lesbians can attain power. And gays and lesbians represent more than just white people.
How do you feel the discrimination between the groups of gay people, gay white males that you talk about, versus a group that you're part of here? What are the issues that they pick on each other about, and how does that affect you?
It affects me that when the third world groups want to move to tenure more people of color, however, they do not mention, let's tenure more women. And when I say that, they don't want to hear me. That hurts. It affects me when women gather together and we're discussing issues of feminism and they don't want to acknowledge our lesbian sisters. That hurts. I feel ignored within all groups. They acknowledge I'm there, they smile, they say, hello, how are you? However, they don't want to hear me talking when I bring forth reality to them that exists within the community. When I tell a predominantly African group, what about the gays, lesbian, bisexuals? Why not include us in there? They don't want to acknowledge that, and that's unfortunate because we exist everywhere in our society. What is happening is now the oppressed are becoming the oppressors within our own groups, and that can't happen. We can't have two big monsters to fight with. We have to deal with our stuff inside, build alliances, coalition building, and then fight what's out there. Racism is happening right now, here today. What Reagan said last year that the Civil Rights Committee is really just resurfacing the racism that isn't happening, we should take our backseat, is a lot of hogwash. His administration is one of the racist administrations that ever existed. When we hear in America that sexism no longer occurs because women are getting into the workforce, that's a lot of hogwash too. White women make 66 cents to the dollar, black women 50, Latino women 40, and Asian women 23. Sexism doesn't exist? I don't think so. When we're being told that homophobia should be kept in the closet, be gay, it's okay, I don't care what you do in bed, but don't tell me about it. That's when I say no. We have to speak to each other. This is something that's happening in our society. We have to dismiss the issue of religion because not everyone is bound together on religion. It's a question of human rights. Everyone deserves human rights. It's unfortunate that we have to keep on struggling and fighting for them, but I guess that's the way it is.
Especially when you have a midterm coming up.
Especially when you have a midterm coming up. Yeah.
Looking unsuccessfully for entertainment on broadcast television? On cable channels? Give up yet? Superstar Video, the Castro movie store, offers you a spectacular selection of thousands and thousands of movies for as low as $2 overnight for any title you choose, including our extensive collection of adult videos. 2 full floors of films are displayed alphabetically in distinctive categories. Our exclusive ticket system informs you that the movies are in stock and available. Renting out tapes is speedy with our friendly and computerized service. A barcode or ID is all members need to present when renting at Superstar because payment is made upon returning and membership is free. Our inventory increases daily, as does our commitment to quality and to the community. Superstar Video, the Castro movie store, opens 7 days a week.